Hello, welcome back. Basically this is just a quick video showing my thoughts of my game that got picked up in the last live shelf game. So if you don't know what the shelf game is, it was an idea that came up originally in private streams. The idea came up from Gernaldinho Plays. Basically, you tell people how many shelves you've got, how many games are on it, and you pick a number, and usually you'd buy that game if you didn't own it. So it was kind of a way of gambling with your game collection in a way. But there's been a spin on it now that we do one where you buy a game and one where you get somebody to pick a game off of your shelf and you have to play it and then come back and say what you thought of it. So the game I got told I had to buy was Fire Pro Wrestling on the PS4. I think I got this off of Paul, the Ink Northerner's shelf. And the game that was chosen for me to play was, I think, Big Game Owl. I think he picked this out for me, which was Pikmin 3 on the Wii U. So yeah, this is just going to be a video saying what I thought of Pikmin 3. That's basically it. So I'll let you know once I've finished it. Well, I don't think I'll finish it. We'll see. Let's have a look. In Pikmin 3, you control three main characters. The main characters are Captain, Charlie, Brittany and Alf. Although you only start with one of these, over time you track down the other two. The storyline is simple though. It's the home planet of the three explorers are experiencing a famine, and they've been sent out to look for planets with food, but they end up crash landing on a planet full of it. When they wake up from the crash, they're all separated, and they all find these different tiny little creatures called Pikmin, who seem happy to help them out with their journey by collecting food, building bridges and killing enemies. This is all well and good, but it makes you wonder what type of game is Pikmin 3? Well, in essence, it's just a puzzle strategy survival game where you just order around units of Pikmin and make them carry out tasks for you. The main characters you play as, you can't really do anything with them. They have to pick up the Pikmin and throw them around just to get them to do whatever it is you want them to do. The only reason you play as three different characters is so you can just split them off into groups. So one group will take one lot of Pikmin, another take another, and you can accomplish tasks faster. Because everything in this game is actually in a time limit. This time limit splits the game into days. At the end of each day, you have to consume the food you found to start the next day. Basically, all the food you find works as a live system. This creates a sense of having to plan out the day. Are you going to hunt for food to survive, or are you going to explore to further the story? Planning out your day isn't difficult, as you can use the Wii U tablet to see the areas you've explored and where the fruit you need is located, or a rough idea of where your next objective is. The time is also paused when you're doing this, so it isn't too bad. You can also look at this before you land on the planet from your main spaceshipy thing. You don't just have to plan out what you want to accomplish in that day, you have to think about which Pikmin you're going to take, because each Pikmin is catered to a different task. Red Pikmin are your standard all-round grunts. Black Pikmin are hard and can be thrown at things to break glass. I think they're also immune to fire. Yellow Pikmin are immune to electricity, and you can use them to create circuits or break electric fences. They might be faster at digging as well, I can't remember. Pink Pikmin can fly and bring down fruit from up high, or the pellets, things you need. And finally the blue Pikmin, they can swim and do things underwater. I think blue Pikmin might be the last ones. But I'm not sure. That's just as far as I got into the game. But going by how long I've seen it's the story, I think I was close to the end. You do not have an unlimited number of these Pikmin, so you have to keep finding more Pikmin to help out, because when they die off, basically you have to go and hunt for more. To gather more of these, you have to collect these pellet things, which come from flowers, or you can carry the bodies of enemies back to the Pikmin live in this thing called an onion. Which is their little hive, so you have to carry it back to there and then it'll create more. You can only have 100 Pikmin at once, on screen. When you carry a pellet thing back to the onion, when they sprout out, the Pikmin will go into the air, then they land on the floor and you have to kind of pluck them out of the ground to be able to use them. Each day in Pikmin lasts about 15 minutes in real life, so it's a great game to play in small bursts, but the constant animations of the days ending and starting up gets a bit repetitive. This also means in the 15 minutes you don't have much time to actually accomplish everything you'd want to in a day, so yeah, you just have to prioritize what you want to do. Any Pikmin not in your party at the end of the day will be killed off, and you'll have to find more Pikmin the next time you land on the planet. You can store the Pikmin in the onion and these will be safe. Also, if like the day ends and you've got them like walking around with you and it says they're in your party, they'll be safe too. Any Pikmin that's like been sprouted from the onion and stuck in the ground will also survive till the next day. If these stay in the ground, and when you land the next day they've got like a flower on their head and they're actually stronger, so it makes like tactical sense sometimes to leave some of the Pikmin in the ground before starting your next day. This isn't the only way to like buff up your Pikmin. You also find this like jelly stuff around that comes from certain fruit, or like, I don't know if it comes from the flowers, I think it might just be the fruits, like the smaller ones that you find. But yeah, you can feed this to the Pikmin and it will also make them more powerful. Each main objective ends with a boss fight. These aren't tough but can easily wipe out a lot of your Pikmin. If your day ends during the battle, the Pikmin that are currently in your party are safe, so make sure you use your whistle to pull them back to you before the timer runs out. Also, any damage done to the boss will actually remain when you go back to fight it the next day, so you don't have to start the boss battle all the way from the beginning again. Unlike the only other Pikmin game which I played, which was the first one, the Pikmin 1 one, on the GameCube, this game has enough food, I think, to let you survive about 100 in-game days, so there's plenty of time to finish the story mode. And looking online, it says it averages around 40 to 50 days to finish the story, so to be honest, the time limit in it isn't that, like, serious. You've got time to explore and look around. There are 2 other modes available other than the story mode, one being is it Bingo Battle or something like that, but I wasn't able to play this because I only had one Wii U tablet charged up at the time and I completely forgot about trying it out, to be honest with you. And the other one's a mission mode. This mode lets you like replay bosses or collect certain fruit or kill a certain enemies in a certain time limit, and basically you can just keep replaying this to beat your time, kind of like a high score mode of seeing how quickly you can get things done. The control in this game is made simple because where you're using the Wii U gamepad and its touchscreen, it's basically tap wherever you want to send Pikmin. You can also use it to, like, on the map to automatically tell your characters where you want them to go, so you can't really get lost. Although a lot of the time, unless you're automatically telling them to walk somewhere, the Pikmin will sometimes get stuck behind things and they get like lost from your party. So it is actually easier to send it with the automatic walking mode because then they all walk at the same speed. For a game released in what I think was 2013, it's still pretty graphically impressive, to be honest with you. It looks like it could be like a living, breathing little world. It's also quite interesting when you pick up new fruit, you can like just like zoom in and look at the fruit themselves, and they're pretty highly detailed, so that's quite fun. Honestly, you can tell these the intro and outro to this little video wasn't recorded on the same day at all, was it? No, it wasn't. Anyway, overall, I just thought Pikmin 3 was a good, fun little game in short bursts. Definitely going to go back and try and finish it. I think I made it to about day 33 or 34, so I thought that was enough time to pass judgment on the game of whether I enjoyed it. There was one part in the game that actually annoyed me, because you spend all your time gathering up all this fruit, and that's your lives basically. So you get your fruit, then somebody comes and steals all your fruit, so all your hard work's just lost for a while, and that was just annoying. And that really pissed me off actually, because I hate it when games do that. But other than that, yeah, it was good fun, and hopefully I'm going to put the video clip in the middle of this is going to have some voiceover, and hopefully that's going to make sense, because it's just going to be me rambling from some notes I took, so hopefully that came out alright. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Have fun.